Oh, books, 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 books. Oh, you're there. Hello. Sunday, Coffee Klatch. Coffee Klatch, Belgian word, means coffee. Klatch means talking, chit-chatting. And in my case, it's mostly about books. So, today is no different. I read 3 books, well, 3.5. One is very big, enormous, humongous. And I read those 3. So I'm still reading Anna Karenina or Karenina by Tolstoy. I hope to be finished this week. I'm a bit late. It's a part of Classics and Company. Normally I should have ended it last week, but I didn't. I really enjoy the slow pace reading that I'm doing right now, and I don't want to rush through that book, and it's really good. It's really good. But I thought of you guys, so I wanted to give you 3 other books to read. Well, 2, because I can't talk much about this one. Adeline Dieudonné is a French-Belgian author. She has been translated already in a couple of languages. I think one is in English already, but she is a bit of a rising star. And she's also an actress. And this book, Reste, Blijf, is her new one. And I really enjoyed it. It was a good book. I didn't like her previous one that much, but this one I really liked. So it's a story, it starts with a woman, the narrator is a woman who says, well, my boyfriend is dead and they are in a cabin and he is, lying dead in the bed. And you don't know if she has murdered him or whatever, but she has no plans of calling the authorities or whatsoever. Second problem, the man is married, but not to her. And they just rented that little place for a weekend or a long weekend just to hang out. And she has to move that body and everything. And because, the weekend is over and we follow her, her struggle with that body. And throughout the story, you learn how their relationship was, how they started their relationship, how it evolved and everything. And it's a really good book about grief and about shame and guilt. And I enjoyed it. It was surprising. The end was not predictable in a way. And I liked it. I really liked it. Reste by Adeline Dieudonné. Blijf. I hope this will be translated someday into English. A book that I read in Dutch but is available in English is a 30s classic by the Japanese author Osamu Damai. And it's called in English No Longer Human. Als mens mislukt. This is a remarkable story. It's written in the 30s in Japan. This is Osamu's second and last novel. He wrote it a couple of months before he took his own life and together with his mistress. This is sort of autobiography or, more or less. Well, something like that. So you learn about a young man's life. He starts out as a young boy who is the clown of the class, and he, because he is so struggling with himself and with his insecurities and with his doubts about his academic talents. He really struggles with the imposter syndrome. And then he becomes an adolescent and he becomes an alcoholic and an outcast, really, in Japanese society. And he also struggles with the influence of the West that is really becoming strong since the 20s and the 30s. And yeah, he struggles with identity, and yeah, he is, I think you have people that are born depressed, and he is that type of person. And throughout the book, it's a struggle with himself and with how people view him and perceive him, and yeah, it's and misunderstand him. And yeah, it's a really interesting book. This is an absolute a classic. I'd never heard of it before, but I really enjoyed the book. I gave it 4 stars. And yeah, he really is a social outcast, and it's beautiful how he writes about it. And unfortunately, he struggled with imposter syndrome himself as an author, and then yeah, he decided to end it. And a very sad story indeed. Just a couple of months after he wrote this book, and he has never known that this became a really powerful and important classic, not only in Japan but all over the world, and that's a sad thing. Then another book that blew me away. I just finished it this morning. It is The Center by debut author Ayesha Manazir Siddiqui. I believe she's Indian, an Indian author or Pakistani author. I'm not sure. I couldn't find that much about her. I know she's a translator, and translating is very important in this book. So we are following a girl, an Indian girl who lives in London, I believe, and she works as a translator, but as a subtitle translator for Bollywood movies. She translates them from Urdu to English. And she doesn't feel very accomplished by doing that. She really wants to be a real translator, tackling classical novels and the real literature. And she then meets her boyfriend, David, I believe his name is. And he speaks fluently several languages. And then he goes away for a couple of weeks, and then after he comes back, he speaks Urdu fluently, but really fluently. And she's taken aback by that, because she tried to learn him several phrases and it didn't work. He forgot them immediately, and now he was away for 2 weeks and he speaks perfect Urdu. And then he says, well, actually, I've been to the center and I can only talk to one person in my life about the center. And he says, well, you go to the center for 10 days and you learn a new language perfectly in those 10 days. So she is really surprised and really intrigued by it. And he said, well, yeah, it costs $25,000 to do this, or pounds, it doesn't matter. And she decides to enroll too. And first she learns German. And it's a very tedious way of learning the language. She is immersed in the story of one man who is talking about his life in German. She is not allowed to speak to the other people. She is not allowed to check her email or whatsoever, or come into contact with her own language, or the English language. And she has her own meals and everything. And then after those 10 days, she could speak perfectly German. But she doesn't really understand how that works, you know? And then there's a huge plot twist that I can't tell. And then you learn the real reason how she learns that language and other languages. But this book is so interesting when it comes to talking about the translations, and I'm sorry, I was reading again. I'm still, oh yeah, you're there still. Sorry. So it is really interesting because she talks about the art of translating, the art of languages, and the fact that learning a new language is the easy way, or in a forced way, is that the right way to learn a language? Because when you learn another language, you learn in a normal way. You also learn about culture and about things that only happen in that sort of, in that language, and the things that the subtleties that you use in that particular language, and the cultural references, like I said before. And it's really interesting. And there's also a very interesting discussion about privilege and about being the king in one country and then second class in another country just because you look different and or you sound different. And yeah, it's really, really interesting. It took a turn that I didn't see coming, and it's a brilliant novel. The Center by Ayesha Manazir Siddiqi. For a debut, it is a really good start. I can assure you, this is not a book for everyone. This is quite shocking. The revelations are quite shocking, so be warned, be prepared. And but if you're not too squeamish, you'll love the book. And I did. I really did. So yeah, that's it. That's my Sunday Coffee Klatch. Yesterday we had a Christmas tree burning. I don't know why they do it, because it's very polluting, and but yeah, I'm not going to complain about that. They had a party till like 4 a.m. I believe it was just at the end of my street, but I didn't lose any sleep over it. They can do whatever they like, but it was a lot more that they burned than just Christmas trees. It was like a whole lot of debris and stuff that was hidden under the Christmas trees. Okay. Anyway, if the village allows it, well, yeah, who am I to be difficult? I don't think they will do it for a very long time. I think this will be one of the last times they will do it, because it's really not legal anymore. But yeah, but there you go. And then I'm still enjoying my podcast, doing that. I really love it. I'm looking forward to talk about the next book, and then I'm really looking forward to read next books for this channel, and then the upcoming buddy reads. I got some really cool ones. So yeah, I'm looking forward to all the new stuff. So we are now reading also Moby Dick by Herman Melville for Classics and Company. We will start a new channel for that, Classics and Company channel, with me and Micah comments. And so it keeps everything nicely separated, and I think that's easier to manage. And then that's about it. That's my week. I have a very, very busy week ahead of me. I have to make a presentation for my library, how I see the future of the library, and with some practical ideas that doesn't cost any money. So yeah, I'm looking forward to write that this evening. And then I still have my studies that will be finished next month, but I haven't done anything this year yet, so I really have to kick my gear up. And then I still have some translation to do for a website from French into Dutch. And then, yeah, that's about it. That's more than enough. And I have to finish Anna Karenina by Tolstoy, which I really adore. For me, Tolstoy is way better than Dostoevsky. I only read The Brothers Karamazov by Dostoevsky, and for me, it's way too long-winded. And this doesn't feel long-winded at all. It feels like, although yeah, it's a recent translation. It's a translation in Dutch, and it's really good. And it really reads like a book that is written the last 5 years, but as a historical fiction. And yeah, it is magnificent. What a story! What a story! And everybody is so human and so flawed, but you still feel for them, and yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful story. So yeah, that's it. That's my Coffee Klatch. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead of you. Tell me in the comments what you are reading, what are your plans for next year, and then drop me a comment. I really enjoy it. I always reply. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next week. Bye bye.